Mr. President, to avoid taking too much of your time, the details and references for these and all other assertions in my statement are provided in 35 footnotes. Our mission has submitted this statement with its footnotes for circulation as a document of the Security Council. Mr. President, matters which are extraneous to the JCPOA by mutual agreement, such as Iran's defensive capabilities and regional policies, are being maliciously raised by the US administration, parroted by a handful of its allies and clients. Here it must be underlined that the bargain made in the JCPOA was in total cognizance of our disagreement with the Western members of the P5+1 over certain issues. Do not be deceived. We mutually agreed not to address these issues. Most importantly, because the United States was not prepared to or even capable of addressing our grave concerns over its unfathomable level of arms sales and buildup in our neighborhood, as well as its malign behavior and constant interventions which have left our region in ruins. The United States has carried out, and I have spelled them out in the footnote, numerous acts of armed aggression against Iran and its neighbors, invaded our neighbors 3 times in the last 3 decades, milked the region of its resources through destabilizing arms sales, systematically supported terrorists, and provided material support for crimes against humanity in Yemen. The people of our region had enough of the malign US presence and demand its termination. The bitter irony here is that most Americans also want their troops returned home where they belong. This very regime absurdly accuses Iran of meddling in its own region. Yes, of course. We want to partner with all our neighbors to create a strong region that precludes the emergence of hegemonic aspirations by any power, regional or global. A strong region that requires homegrown political and territorial stability, and a strong region for which all neighbors need to exercise strategic self-restraint, just like Iran. It was to this end that the President of the Islamic Republic of Iran put forward the Hormuz peace endeavor, or hope. And we can do it without US meddling some 6,000 miles away from its shores. Mr. President, the International Court of Justice clearly underlined in its 1971 advisory opinion on Namibia, and I quote, "One of the fundamental principles governing international relationship thus established is that a party which disowns or does not fulfill its own obligations cannot be recognized as retaining the right which it claims to derive from the relationship," end of quote. After officially and explicitly ceasing its participation in the JCPOA at the highest level, and having violated each and every one of its obligations under the JCPOA and Resolution 2231, the United States cannot arrogate to itself any right under that resolution, nor can its enablers try to save its face via so-called middle ground formulas. The timetable for the removal of arms restrictions embodied in Resolution 2231 is an inseparable part of the hard-won compromise enabling the JCPOA participants to finally agree on the overall package of the JCPOA and Resolution 2231. The resolution explicitly urges, and I quote, its full implementation on the timetable, end of quote. Any attempt to change or amend the agreed timetable is thus tantamount to undermining Resolution 2231 in its entirety. The Council must not allow a single state to abuse the process.